All right, here we go. Our first group is getting rolling out. This is, if you're on the stream checking it out, we switched the order of things, so we have to relabel our race here. This is a Cat 4 scratch race. Our Madison, we're going to try to run at the end of the evening instead of the beginning, just to make sure we have time for some more registrants. Yes, our fields are a little small tonight. We got a lot of competitors out and about across the country, all the way over in Pennsylvania for one thing. I'm sure some other riders looking at the start list may have stayed home and said, I'm going to try to hide out from the heat. But for those that made their way out here, we appreciate it. We've got some fields racing tonight. This first one up is a scratch race. 10 laps on the cards for these riders. They'll start out of turn 4 as long as they're all together out of this neutral lap, and then 10 laps of racing for the Cat 4 men, our first group up tonight. And the sound of the whistle means racing is underway here on the beautiful, scorching evening of Friday Night Racing. Our final night of racing here in the month of July. Thanks again if you're online tuning in. I know a couple of you are waiting for the stream to start. Thanks for joining us here. Maybe we got some of our regulars at home in the AC hiding out. Some of our fans over in Pennsylvania probably tuning in. Several days of competition over at Nationals for the elites and juniors going on right now. And some of these fields, especially these Cat 4 fields, are going to be highly impacted by missing some of the regular junior competitors that are part of this group. The Jerry Baker Juniors team taking 16 riders out of town and have been gone most of this week, leaving on Monday. And many of those riders are making their way back over the next couple of days. If you're here on the stream and you support us here, I do have a couple of quick announcements that should be exciting as we get geared up for the Vision Grand Prix coming in a couple of weeks. That's right, we're 2 weeks out from the big international class kind of race we host here. The biggest cash purse, $5,000 in merchandise, $10,000 cash purse out of the prizes for those races. That's all going to be happening on the 12th and the 13th. Well, on our way there, we're going to try and up our stream game a little bit. And we're going to be doing some things that should be a little bit more fun and trying to interact with you folks that are watching online, including trying to integrate. If you want to throw out money for the preems or give us a donation during the race, you can get a message called out during the race, and we'll be showing little badges and doing all that fun stuff on there. So we're trying to also set a goal to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark as we close in on the Grand Prix. So that's also going to be something we're going to be making the home run stretch for. And we hope that will be exciting updates coming in the way for our streaming platform, which we're going to be really focusing in on the YouTube platform moving forward and trying to integrate with that. So if you are viewing on Facebook, we love you and appreciate you. If you find the time to swing on over to youtube.com/c/JB Velodrome and give us a subscribe there, that's going to be the better place to sort of be integrated and following along with the action moving forward. Riding out here with a group of 6 in this Cat 4 field. Unsurprising format here early for these riders to be in this sort of formation of single file, taking their turns and working towards the ends of the race. When there's not a lot of bodies out there to share the work, it's going to be fairly conservative. You need about double this number of riders, I'd imagine, before you'd see a little bit more forward and back and a little bit more movement in and out of the field. So for now, we roll through these opening laps and kind of work our way towards the end. I'm also joined by my other voice talent here tonight. Nolan Adams has got the staff shirt on and hanging out. How is it down there on the grandstands tonight?
Comfortable.
Yeah, there you go. You're sitting.
As long as I'm not doing any athletic endeavor, this temperature is tolerable. Though I would say the riders do have the benefit of a little bit of a breeze. So evapotranspiration, I believe, if I can recall the right word from my 8th grade AP Bio textbook. Must be a benefit, but I'm pretty comfortable here, sitting my butt down, watching some great racing, although not as dynamic as I would have. I think there's some hitters out there in this field coming over from the roadside, and I would expect them to probably take the top couple of spots in, how many laps we got left? 4 laps time. I think maybe the rider from Apex is the one to watch. He's got a boatload of cameras on his bike, maybe to capture his own success tonight. Boy, what upset that would be if he got smoked at the line, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's certainly something to watch for. Number 454 in there is a rider for Apex in the blue and the black jersey just at the front. And if you're not sure who I'm talking about, yes, the GoPro sticking out the helmet. It's a surefire way to pick him out in a crowd. Yeah, I see our fans tuning in. We do have a Madison on our schedule. It will happen at the end. Again, that's a slight update from the regular announcements that we've been making about this program tonight. If you want to pick up the schedule that we originally printed, you can find that at velodrome.org/live. We did have to combine our open women's field, allow those riders to register into either the Cat 4 men or the Cat 3 men field so they could race tonight. Not quite enough registrants across the board, so we bolstered things up. And here we are with our Cat 4 men currently in this scratch race and closing in on it. Riders seeing 2 to go now. This is Aaron Halfacher, the rider in blue, seeing the move come around from the far outside. That's our young rider, number 432, Jacob Luna, riding for AirTech Racing, goes at the 2 to go mark, trying to separate himself, although it looks like Aaron's going to try to counter quickly. And the rider in red making his way up as well. It looks to be Alex of the Audi Racing team, I believe, number 405. This now the bell lap. It's 1 to go. 1 to go in the scratch. 1 to go. Luna's leading out the lap right now for a couple riders who've made the catch. Good response for the rider in blue, and off he goes. Good call from my colleague here with the go. He had the confidence to bring out the cameras. Must want to put out a good effort tonight, and that's what he'll do from the front now as he takes the lead spot out of turn 2 and will just hold the line all the way around the track. He's got 2 pursuers, but not looking to make any ground up on this rider. Nice job to Aaron here out of Apex Racing. Hometown Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm kind of a Midwest guy myself. Did you know that? No, okay.
I don't think we could hear that in the voice.
I've been here too long, I guess. Yeah.
We can all agree on that.
All right, all right. I see you. I see you. All right, our next group coming up here, the Cat 3s hitting the rail for their scratch race. On deck will be the Cat 1-2s. All right, going off for another race here, a scratch race for the Cat 3 men, and I believe we have at least 2 women competitors I saw rolling by as we've had to combine some fields tonight. They're going off for their neutral, and then they'll get started at turn 4 as long as they're still all together. They've got 12 laps on this scratch race. That's right, we're 2 weeks out from the GP, but tonight is Homeseed Loan Night, our big sponsor from Homeseed. Homeseed, I believe we had a representative of theirs pick up a big item at the auction and get this race started here. There's the whistle. So first of all, thanks to them as just a general sponsor for us, but then of course for the specific actors showing up to the auction and doing what they do. Homeseed is based out of Bellevue, Washington, launched back in June of 2016 with the goal of creating a mortgage company that would provide clients and partners with simplified and empowered home lending experience. And here they are now reaching out to this community and supporting what we do. So big thanks to Homeseed, and thanks for being here and joining us tonight. Thanks to Sarah for her support at the auction as well. Big time thank you to our community. Another rider from AirTech Racing. We saw Jacob in the last field. This is James Campbell Harris, number 311, pulls up out of the way. Riders taking their turns at the front. Going to call it pretty similarly here. I would imagine that with this size of field, going to be fairly passive early on, but It is a significantly larger looking group compared to the last group overall, so that's opportunity for some things to happen here. And a group of riders that aren't used to riding together as we toss in a couple of the women competitors into this group. Both strong in their own fields as well, as Kelly Please is second from the back right now, and right in the middle looks like Heather Nielsen, number 5. Going to be mixing it up here as well. It's Kit Colbert that pulls up to the rail. Yeah, the Beverage Gardens and maybe Corner 4 knows how to give a round of applause for the riders as they go by. Number 313. These guys are confusing me. They brought out some different kits today. I think they're trying to compensate for the heat. Scott Grinsel, number 313 there at the front for a moment. Riding for Dyna Racing Team. Coming all the way out from Bellevue, Washington. Mr. G, we call him around here. At the front for a moment. Someone I'm going to be seeing how he races this race with the smaller group. I have to say, Gene Johnson Cycling been strong this season. Coming all the way down from Mount Vernon. Tyson Danielson, number 321, maybe another rider to watch for, the rider in blue at the front here with the white helmet. As Tyson's been coming on strong in the last couple of weeks. Has good motor and also good top speed out of the Cat 3 field. Looks like number 340, Paul Rackness, is a new joiner in the field. Riders that get good finishing order and good finishing positions in their categories earn upgrade points. So Paul Rackness, number 340, recently joining this group. He's got the red bike at the black kit almost right in the middle of that lineup now with the white helmet on. So he'll be adding a new dynamic, and he was racing real good out of those Cat 4 fields just last week. 306 is Ben Flom for the Fell Swoop team. He pulls up and out of the way. And our field coming around, we'll be getting the halfway point. We're getting to the 6 to go mark next time they come across the line. I think that's Mr. G again at the front. 313 on the move. Taking a nice effort here. 2 riders jump in on the effort. It looks like Paul Rackness, Tyson Danielson both decide to jump up on this one. Starting to create a bit of a separation here in the field. That bridging effort by the rider in black and orange is Flom trying to get up there before this race gets separated into 2 fields now. He wants to be in the front of this one as Mr. G does some good work to split this thing up. Looks like Grinsel and Danielson at the front starting to talk things out and talking about setting some tempo. Yeah, thanks for tuning in on the live stream as well. Folks, we got a small but strong contingency here. A lot of them are from Homeseed as we're celebrating their support of the Velodrome tonight. Homeseed Loans being our sponsor feature. And then, of course, we got some of you watching out there online. It's been, I was driving in today. It was about 100 on the highway. My car was reading, so hot on the highway, obviously. But when I got in here, it was about 95 degrees or so as we were getting into the warm-up time. And it's very lightly cooling off, very barely. So we're going to be in the mid to low 90s here, I think, through the rest of the night. It's a fast night. Not a ton of wind out here, but definitely in a pretty high heat for our riders compared to what we're used to on a normal Friday night. Here at 3 to go for the scratch race for the Cat 3s, we have this group of 4. Ben Flom made the bridging effort to get up to the front. He's the rider in the first spot now. Right behind him is Tyson Danielson in the blue. Paul Rackness in the black with the red bike. And then that gray kit is Mr. G for Dyna Racing. Although not wearing the colors this evening. Yeah, I think some riders pulling out some different kits to compensate for tonight's heat. I see some questions about preems and whatnot. I don't think we have preems on the schedule for this evening. If you want to check which ones do have preems, or if we need to talk about opportunities to do more of those, we can certainly do that. But the scratch with preems, you can find the full race or the full race schedule with the full breakdown of the types of races. The best place to go is velodrome.org. Under the racing tab, the last link is for the race book. And there's a schedule in there that's really detailed. So if you're looking for that, head that way. It's one to go. On the front here is Mr. G making the attack before the bells ring, and Tyson Danielson, the rider I mentioned earlier for Gene Johnson, is in the right place to counter. He's going to try to get up to the wheel quickly. He manages to find it, and now he's trying to accelerate over the top, and it looks like Scott knows what's coming. If he can keep up the acceleration, he's still fighting for a second or third place spot now, as the rider in blue, Tyson, is well and away for Gene Johnson Cycling. And it looks like Tyson will be the one to take this one, as Scott Grinsel holds on for second, and that's Ben Flom for third overall. A couple more riders still finishing up here. The race is not quite over. Thank you. Cat 1-2s are set to start here in a moment. Watch out. One more coming. All right, here comes our next field. Cat 1-2s to the rail, please.
Is this a Team Hunchback in green? What do we got going on here? Is that a new aerodynamic technology that just nobody else has? ICE. So is that an acronym? Now we all know.
You have a good vantage point down there. I appreciate that.
I do.
All right, getting started on the scratch here now for the Cat 1-2 men field. We're going to be our potentially most competitive group here. We've got more riders, so that's a good sign. The team in green showing up all summer long. We've got a couple of those riders from Found Cycling Guild here. And a smattering of other competitors. Again, a smaller group, about half that we've been having on a normal Friday night, but still plenty of strong riders in this group, and lots to talk about here tonight for our scratch race, as we got 15 laps on the cards for the total distance on this one. One rider to watch, number 4. He's wearing the Rider of the Year jersey right now, and he's sitting near the front. Overall strong rider week to week is Andy Baker, and he's earned his way up into that Rider of the Year jersey coming into tonight's effort. And off we go. And I was just told as well, you can look for the yellow numbers. Also helps it kind of stick out as our leader in the field for this group so far. Means that he's always somebody to watch, because he's going to compete in pretty much any of these races. He has a good skill set, and he's got good race smarts to find a way to be fast in just about anything we do here. Scratch race with this size of field, certainly not a bad place for Andy to put on a good show. I'm also always watching number 7. Dave Richter's here tonight, the Rocket for Found Cycling Guild. He's got some teammates as well as number 24 and 27, both also very quick finishers themselves. In fact, I think 24 after last week, he's probably coming out here tonight hoping to maybe pick up some points back against Andy, as he's in second place now in the Rider of the Year competition, this overall year-long Omnium that we run here. And if he can do well tonight, he's trying to maybe get that jersey back, is Mario Sandoval, number 24. $13 to go. That's Chris Wilson now at the front. Number 27 moves out of the way for, as mentioned a moment ago, Mario Sandoval, Super Mario at the front. And here's Richter coming to the front now, taking their parade laps here in the early goings. Again, not a huge field for this group either. Big enough that there are some things that could occur mid-race. Bobby Walther made a quick move out of the way. Number 44 is here competing in this field, and he gets back into the back, but at the front it's now Carl Hofer, who takes a pretty powerful 200-meter pull as he re-accelerates this field. He's riding in the red for Audi Cycling. He pulls off the front. At 11 to go. Bib number 14, all black, is Elliot Crowther taking a strong pull here. Not familiar with this rider's strength or what he can bring to the field, so it'll be interesting to see what Elliot's up to this evening as he pulls up and out of the way. Good acceleration for him on his pull, as now Baker takes the front. Pretty consistent rotation at the front here as riders are definitely keeping tempo. That's Kovalchuk from the Black Lodge Cycling squad coming up from Portland, Oregon. Getting ready for the GP in a couple weeks. We'll be coming up here for some racing for the next couple of weekends, and is always a speedster to watch. It's been a while since we had the joy of watching him compete here, but we're glad to have him joining us for the next couple weekends. Definitely keep your eye on number 51 tonight for what he can accomplish from this field. Baker and Sandoval. You can see Sandoval watching the wheel of Baker, the rider of the year jersey, a tempting target for 24 as he kind of marks that wheel and maneuvers with him. And this very consistent tempo sort of doing its job as we've lost a few riders off of the back of this field. Got to be able to hang with the tempo or you're not going to be able to sprint at the end of this race. That's a great way to roll around in a scratch. 8 to go. Colin Gibson's been quiet so far, but here he comes now. It's been a few weeks since I've seen this rider ride. In fact, it's been quite a while since the Keller Rohrbach rider Colin Gibson's been present here at the Velodrome, and always willing to set up these sort of flyer solo moves off the front and see what he can pull off with it as Gibson tries to see what he can do at almost his halfway point, essentially halfway through the race. 7 to go. Colin Gibson looking to see what's going on behind him. He's got a couple pursuers. His 27 tries to match tempo quickly, bringing with him 2 more in this chase effort, and half of the field still in on this thing. Gibson caught fairly quickly, but a nice effort for him for the Keller Rohrbach racing team. Carl Hofer now sits at the front as we start to reorganize ourselves. The ride of the year, a little bit off the back there for a moment as Andy Baker gets a little bit of separation. The riders coming on the home straight now will be the front of this race and the field. They are got a bunch of riders that have broken off, but the riders that survive, this is going to be the race. 7 have made it to this point. The 3 from the green team, Found Cycling, are all here. Zach Kovalchuk, our Portland speedster, in the second wheel spot. Colin Gibson right in 4th spot right now in that lineup. For Keller Rohrbach, the rider in red, Carl Hofer. And there's that rider of the year jersey making up this field of 7, making it to this point in the race. Our riders will be seeing 5 to go. I'm going to check in with my insider here about the state of the race, as I'm sure Nolan has some thoughts about this field of 7 and where we are here. Because I'm looking out here, and they've done the work to size down the field a little bit. And where are we at here? What do you think as we kind of reset and get some breath back in the system?
With a slightly smaller field and a disparity of talent, I'm not surprised that it's kind of, things got strung out and some folks were struggling early on. It's also a bit windy on the backstretch, I've heard. Not that I know, can't walk that far right now. But from here, it looks a bit breezy, and that always plays an additional role. It looks like a good core group of folks out there right now. Looks like we got a couple of guest rider, if you will, up from Portland, Zach Kovalchuk, and got quite the pedigree. So my money's going to be on him if this were a betting nature.
Yeah, I hear you there. We haven't got to watch him race in so long, but every year I've watched Zach race at the GP, he's always at the front of just about every race, at every event, lapping fields, doing crazy stuff. He's a strong rider and has been for a long time. So certainly going to be watching him as well. That was a pretty big effort for Gibson again. He saw an opportunity to move off the front. Another reminder for our fans here, we got, looks like a couple limbs going underneath the rails. I know it's inviting to kind of hang toes and arms, but if we can make sure feet and arms are away from the railing and not hanging over it all, that would be fantastic for the safety of you, especially, and for our riders as they go by. Thank you for cooperating with that. Just a couple laps out here. They're about to get the bell. This field of 7 All in single file behind Chris Wilson. And look who's in second wheel spot. There's Zach. And the bell's ringing with Wilson on the front. Not a full-out attack here. He's just kind of doing the move, getting out of the saddle, but not in his full effort, kind of waiting for the move from the field. Looks like the acceleration's starting to come from 51 now as he comes out and around the outside, and now Sandoval trying to set down the big sprint. It's going to be two riders side by side, Sandoval and Kovalchuk. Super Mario's trying to take on the rider out of Portland. Good sprint here side by side. Richter's trying to stay out the speed, and Baker's up here too. Come around the corner though. Second effort for Kovalchuk will be enough. Kovalchuk, 51, will take it. 7 is Richter coming across the line second.
You know, if it were me, I would probably keep hands on the ball at all times. But that's just me.
Yeah, you know, you do what you got to do, I guess, you know, and then deal with the consequences later. All right, our Cat 1-2 men are making their way off, and our next group will be Cat 4s coming back here in just a moment. All right, our next group to the rail. Cat 4s for the Belgian-win-n-out, please. Belgian-win-n-out for the Cat 4s to the rail. On deck, Cat 3s. We're moving quick through our program. We're now into our second set of races tonight, folks. And since time is so limited, I better say it again. Our big thanks again to Homeseed Loans for being the major sponsors for tonight, for supporting us back at the 2022 MVA auction, and for being here in support tonight. We appreciate your partnership in helping make racing so successful. Homeseed Loans. All right. Off for the Belgian-win-n-out. It's the backward win-n-out. We usually race it in a way where the first bell you hear is going to be for the champion in the race, but this time it's backwards. In the Belgian-win-n-out, the first bell is at 10 to go, and at 9 to go, we're going to take the first rider out of the field. They're going to be in 4th place overall. The next sprint will be for 3rd place. The next sprint will be for 2nd, and then finally at the end, we'll do 1st place, 5th place, and the rest of the field. Those laps are at 9, 6, 3, and at the end of the race. So bells at 10, 7, 4, and 1. So you can kind of keep track of how those sprints are going to happen. This is the same set of rules for the next 3 races. It's the same total laps. It's a 12-lap race in overall here for this field. Currently in the neutral and starting out turn 4 if they're all together still. And the signals given, our riders are on the go-ahead. Bell at 10. 4th place at that point. The Velodrome is hosting a lot of great events all summer long. Of course, we are just 2 weeks out from the Vision Grand Prix. $10,000 cash purse, $5,000 merchandise. Always set to be the fastest racing here at the Velodrome all year long. So if you even have a light passing interest in Velodrome racing here, you're not going to miss August 12th and 13th, Friday and Saturday racing here at the Velodrome for the Vision Grand Prix. Our thanks, of course, to the title sponsor, Vision FSA, for their continuing support of this event. You can now register if you're a racer online at velodrome.org under the racer portal, or you can head to the homepage for the event. Everybody else, you can look forward to 2 nights of racing that are going to be excellent for spectators. 7 o'clock starts. First one is on August 12th. It's a Friday night, and then we got Saturday night racing on the 13th. We'll be live streaming all of the action as well as the morning, or I should say the afternoon sessions. We have a noon session on both Friday and Saturday as well, which will be streamed live. And you're welcome to come by and watch that if you'd like to see sort of the setup events that go on during the day. Our riders right now are in the early goings of this Belgian-win-n-out, and they've got a long race ahead of them in a small field. The first bell in this one is for 4th place. It's always this kind of inverse logic. It's like, do I really want to sprint for 4th this early?
Well, I hope somebody does, because this looks like a Sunday group ride. Good God.
Yeah, we're out in the neighborhood at this point, so. I mean, it's already hot outside, but no one's bringing the heat here. Is that a bell for our first?
No.
No? Okay.
Not even yet. Just having a conversation in turn 1? Unheard of. This GoPro footage isn't going to be very good. Somebody should tell Aaron to do something crazy. Hey, Aaron, send it.
Okay, I think we did miss. We're going to miss the bell, so we better bring it. Here comes the bell. All right, here we go. We'll just do it a lap late, but you're getting the bell for Scott. Go around one more time. Scott Fowler on the attack. The field will let him take it, it looks like. Next rider will be third place at the front of the field at 6 to go, bell at 7. Team Booger comes flying across the line. Scott Fowler will make his way out. The field of 5 still looks like they're on their community ride here. It's okay. They're just waiting for the bell. Amara says, Carl, with all exclamation points on the stream, by the way. She knows what's going on. Good times. You can pick up the stream and the results as well as tonight's race schedule online at velodrome.org/live. The open women's field was dissolved into the Cat 3s in the basically the Cat 3s tonight. We were very short on competitors across all of our fields. Big shout out to all of the riders, athletes, our community that's right now over in Trexlertown, Pennsylvania. It's about a half an hour to Philadelphia and having a great time with nationals competition. I believe the last update, I didn't really haven't been tuning in very well today, but the last couple days I know we got a bronze for Danny Scoville in the junior women's sprints, so that's a pretty awesome result for her. That's 7 to go. This is for third place. It's ringing. Third place, it's ringing right now. It's calling your name right now. Yeah, go get a top 3 spot, folks. Here you go. Can someone take all places in the Belgian is a question. They are pulled from the race when they get their placing. It's kind of like the opposite of a missing out. So we don't call it an elimination because that sounds bad, but you do get pulled from the race when you win that lap. So at this point, it looks like Jacob Luna will say, fine, guys, I'll go for a casual win here. It's third place for Jacob. And he will exit the track as he's all done. And now we'll be waiting for second place.
You know, Corey, by my math, there's only 2 more placings left, and I count 4 riders.
So hold on. You keep bringing back like this, like elementary level math stuff. It's so I can't keep track. So what are you saying here?
It's a little tough. I hope somebody on live stream can help out here, but I just don't think it checks out that they're all going to place.
Yeah.
I think somebody's not doing their math correct, or they're hedging their bets inappropriately.
Well, okay, that's good. That's great analysis. Now I'm picking up on it. That's
what I'm here for.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so looking at the current race state, then I would say, yeah, somebody should probably figure it out and go here. But that's all right. You know, that's their race. They signed up. They paid the registration fee, not me. We were just talking about how much I've raced and how slow I would be out there. I might actually have had a chance to get a top 5 tonight. You know?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, come on. Like, maybe.
I think they would have outsprinted you just for the lulz, as the children say.
Right. It's all good. I'm just having some fun here on a Friday night with our light crew in the heavy heat here today. We've been sort of worried about rider turnout in the first place just because of the exhaustion and the heat everybody's been experiencing the last couple of days. But we're glad to at least be able to host our 3 groups tonight.
Can I dib band name? What'd you say? Exhaustion in the heavy heat?
Yeah.
It's a. Oh no, my battery's dying.
No, it's a range thing. Oh, you're good.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Bell lap, and we got somebody off the front, and nobody chasing. Hey, the trio over here. Are you all really gonna get first?
Yeah. Well,
I don't think that's how it works.
That's not. Yeah, you're right. I think there's something about that.
Yeah, we discussed the whole math thing a little bit ago.
That's hard. you know?
It really is, and that's why I'm on the microphone.
Alex,
not doing laps and bells.
Alex from Audi figured it out, though. He said, second's a pretty good place to be. So, all right in red. Alex takes second place and will be exiting the track this time. Well done for him. And 3 riders remain. Let's see who was brave enough to fight over first. Parker Sanford for the Jerry Baker Jr. squad at the lead of the field right now. Aaron Halfacker of the Apex Racing team right in the middle. And then 406 is Mike Jors in the green. I mean, who was the winner of that first race again? That would have been, I believe that was Aaron, 454. So if we have an early favorite, based on the way the last race played out, that scratch race, it's going to be the rider from Apex. Elimination, I like that. Spencer coming up with a good name for the, it's not the Elimination, it's the Elimination. I'm following that logic. That makes sense too. We're doing all sorts of discovery here tonight. It's very organic this evening. Stanford kind of gets some free room here off of the front as Mike is watching the wheel of Aaron closely. On deck, our Cat 3 is ready to start next. Cat 3 and women competitors on deck for their Belgian-win-n-out. And the move down the back straight. That's going to be Aaron making the move around the corner, and Mike George watching him closely, trying to make this a good race. Bells ringing, 1 to go, 1 to go. Mike watching the wheel here really well all the way through this race. Has actually positioned himself really well for this sprint. As now he's forcing the rider from Apex to do the pole, and it's Mike's advantage at this point. If he can get the speed needed to come around the outside, he still has time to do so. Needs to make the jump now if he's going to challenge. It's Aaron on the front, the rider from Apex Racing, holding on to the position. Not going to have quite enough acceleration. Good read from the rider in green as he knew what to do. Just couldn't make the execution come through there at the end. It'll be Aaron from Apex Racing. Aaron Halfacker picking up another win tonight. Cat 3s and women competitors, you're invited to the rail, please. On deck, Cat 1-2s. All right, signal coming from our officials to start the neutral here for this Cat 3 and women Belgian-win-n-out. If you're out there in the stream enjoying it, don't forget to scroll down and hit that subscribe button, the notification to know when we go live, and of course, give the thumbs up on the video. If you got that little extra bit of gumption to take a little more time to support the track, you could also share the video with somebody on social media, send a text to friends and family, and let them know you're watching some great coverage of racing here at Redmond, Washington. Marymore Park, coming live to you every single Friday night. We appreciate that. All through the summer months, of course. We are an outdoor facility and sort of weather restricted. Precipitation, our greatest enemy. We're going to be working on not the rider engagement. I think they're pretty engaged during the race, usually. But our spectator engagement, we're going to be bringing some more alerts and badges and all sorts of cool things to our online platform. So we look forward to that in the next couple of weeks. That whistle is sounded for the start of racing, and the first bell at 10 to go, Carl, 10 to go. And then, then we'll get our 4th place sprint at 9 laps remaining. I dog him. He stepped up at the last minute to volunteer, and now I'm giving him a hard time. Probably shouldn't do that. We're on our way to trying to hit 1,000 subscribers as well on the YouTube channel before we get to the GP. We'd love to hit that mark in the next couple of weeks. We're awfully close. And if anybody out there hasn't yet done it that's watching right now, or anybody here in the Velodrome currently watching live, like here in person, I should say, pick out the smart device, hit up velodrome.org/live, and check out the stream now. We'd appreciate the support. A quick thumbs up would make a big difference for us. I always talk about the algorithm. You got to fight the algorithm. Got to get those views, man. I think we're going to be sending you down to the field after this first sprint to check in with one of our riders, as we've got our on-field crew ready to hit up the local talent here. As the field rounds the corner, this is for the lowest of the positions available to win. This is 4th place on the line next time around. 4th place, Nielsen, number 5, makes the move. A couple riders in the field say, this is not my sprint. Let's let some other riders fight over this one, as James Campbell Harris of Aerotech Racing looks like he wants to go get it. All right, and with that, I think James Campbell Harris already pretty well in a way. We're going to make the call here in just a moment to kind of give him the official nod, but he knows what's going on. All right, Nolan, we're going to send it down to you down on field. It looks like you've got someone sitting there in an Apex Racing jersey. Let's check it out.
I do. I didn't even notice. So I'm down here with Aaron, winner of the last race. Aaron, what were your thoughts going into the race? Had you done that before?
I've never done this race before. I thought, who wants to go for 4th from a field of, are we 6? You know, and so we had a conversation about that going like 10 miles an hour.
Are you saying you just gave somebody the win there?
Well, the 4th place.
Valid point, valid point. Okay, so that last lap, it looked like you took a really hard pull, but you had a bit of a leech on your back. What was your plan? I saw you look back and you knew that you had somebody in the draft. What was your plan?
Well, it was supposed to be surprising, and there wasn't supposed to be anybody in my draft. So the whole idea, once I realized somebody was there, was just to try and leave a tiny bit in the tank. So just so long as I can take off in corner 3, I figured I could hold them off, and it worked out.
Yeah, it sure did. And one follow-up here. I see that you're seated at the top step right now. Do you plan to be here later tonight?
I sure hope so. That's the game plan.
Fantastic. Thanks, Aaron. Good luck on the last race.
Thanks, Nolan.
All right, bells ringing back in the race here as Cat 3's got Kit Colbert on the track right now at the lead position. This is a sprint for 3rd place as the recent upgrader here, Rackness, makes the move. It's Paul Rackness trying to bridge, and he'll catch. The rider in black with the red bike flying fast here. Kit Colbert will sit up as he realizes it looks like the rider making the second attack will be the one to find the line first for 3rd place. 340 gets the official call. That's Paul Rackness. Next sprint will be for 2nd place. So Kit's not out of the action yet. He's still in front of the field, although he looks like he might be losing a little bit of momentum, maybe thinking about a quick recovery and maybe sprinting for 1st later on. It's tough to be in 2 efforts in a row. Ben Flom from the Fell Swoop team was that rider in black and orange trying to bridge up next. Flom now on the front, just holding on to the effort and keeping a little bit distance between him and the chasing group of 3. Next closest rider with the black helmet is Mr. G. Bell's ringing for 2nd place. It's 4 to go. 2nd place on the line next time around. 2nd place on the line next time around. One more group to race this Belgian-win-n-out coming up next. The Cat 1-2s will jump back out on the track. This will be a relatively short evening. We dropped one of our categories in some of these distances a little bit shorter this evening, but to make it longer, we will end with an open Madison at the end. We're hoping to have maybe more than our 4 original registered teams. Looks like Mr. G is going to come flying in for this one. And indeed, Grinsel, 313 is going to get the official call over the radio. Our rider in gray with the black helmet is out of the race in 2nd place. And this is the setup Tyson was looking for. He followed the wheel and launched his own attack, not trying to challenge Grinsel for 2nd place. He just wanted his help to get out here in front of the rest of the riders. Now Tyson Danielson for Gene Johnson Cycling making a smart move and just trying to solo away from the rest of the group. Flying high, 3-2-1 for the Gene Johnson Cycling team. Tyson Danielson off the front. And there's the bell. Tyson Danielson off the front, unchallenged at this point. He's getting the the victory lap here for the rider in blue. Everyone else on the track is behind him currently.
Hey, Corey, what happens to folks who don't get 1, 2, 3, or 4? How do they place?
That's a great question. Based on their finishing order coming across the line on the very final lap, nothing else before that matters. So essentially, it's a scratch race for 5th and beyond.
Nothing else matters.
That's right.
Metallica, 1984.
Good call. 321 will be your winner of the race on this final lap. Everyone else finishing up if they're behind Tyson. Everybody's on their final lap and all done. So based on that, I believe that would put Flom in 5th overall, as he'd be the next rider in the field to cross the line here on the same lap as the leader. Cat 1-2s to the rail for the Belgian-win-n-out, our final run at this race this evening. The Belgian-win-n-out, Cat 1-2s to the rail. Up next, the Cat 4 men as we go back into our final set of races this evening. We have eliminations coming up next. All right, and off we go into the neutral for our last Belgian-win-n-out tonight. First bell at 10 to go for that 4th place sprint with 9 laps on the cards. Working our way towards the final sprint for first. Currently in the neutral. Again, want to throw out a special thank you here in our quick break during the neutral to Homeseed. Make Bender your trusted home lender. Sarah Bender throwing up big in the auction this last year and also one of our general sponsors for the track. This is Homeseed Night here at the Velodrome, and I know we've got some folks here in the beverage garden enjoying that and kind of celebrating them and what they do. And again, our big thanks to Homeseed for stepping up, and a big thanks to Sarah Bender for supporting the Velodrome this year. And the whistle signaling the beginning of racing for the Cat 1-2 men. Rider of the Year, Jersey currently on number 4. Now the ongoing battle for the top of the overall Omnium as Andy Baker has taken that spot now for the moment. Finishing a little bit behind his closest competition, I believe, may have actually sat up to a point where he wasn't able to get in front of Andy in the last sprint. Was Mario Sandoval is the rider next closest to him, but I believe tonight's race for the rider of the Rider of the Year jersey is going to be the elimination. So that's really the ones that are going to be watching most closely. That'll be their final race tonight. 11 to go, so next time the first bell. Next time's the first bell for 4th place.
What kind of zoom is on that camera?
Lots.
Well, I just noticed over here, Kit's got some sweet flow growing out. That's new to me. Hadn't been paying attention, and then it just poofs out of his helmet tonight. It's so good, Kit. It's a compliment. Love the flow. Didn't even notice. I'm sorry. Wasn't, but you had a hat on, right?
All right, the bell's ringing. That's number 24, Super Mario making the move. Whoa, doesn't want to make the move, though, and throws number 5 a little high across the line. Christian Miller recovers. Down the back straight, Chris Wilson and Christian Miller sprinting things out. Andy Baker's not running at 4th place. He's just positioning himself. Miller and Wilson going side by side. Miller joining us pretty late in the season. Still trying to put a show of it here for 4th place. Running at the line. Ooh, Wilson's got a good move to the line. He'll be 27. 27 gets the call. 5 was making a good run at it, but Christian Miller not quite able to close down. Warning to rider 24 for a dangerous move up track. Warning to Sandoval for a dangerous move up track in the last sprint. Before the last sprint, I should say, but back at the bell. Andy Baker off the front of the field. He's kind of sneaking away. He just wants to ensure a good position right now. That's rider number 4 with the white helmet. He's got the Rider of the Year jersey on right now, and behind him has got the next closest group. That's the field trying to hold on to his speed. The sprint for third place. Andy Baker still off the front. Bell's ringing. Colin Gibson of the Keller Rohrbach squad, number 26, in pursuit. Zach Kovalchuk leads the field right now of 5 in turn 1. Baker and Gibson down the back straight. If both these riders get far enough away, it almost could be like an anti-sprint. Like who wants to go out now, right? You've done all this effort. It looks like Baker's still going to roll here to the line, ensure third, and Gibson may not mind too much. As Gibson is great in these sort of scenarios. It is Andy Baker giving the call. Gibson off the front in the solo move. If he just keeps here, he'll be in second place, and the field's going to be fighting over first. The field's just now going to be entering corner 1. They're chasing the leader. That's Richter that pulls off the front for a moment. This group, as it stands, will be sprinting for first and doesn't really have a whole lot of impetus to go chase at the moment, because if they stay where they are, these 5 are competing for first instead of where Colin is. He's going to get second on his own. So here's Gibson crossing the line now. That's the bell for second place ringing, and he has got that one totally locked in. There's really not a competition for second against Gibson. He moved on that attack by Baker and wisely did not challenge him for it, just kept his position in the field or on the track where it was, and he'll be able to capitalize here shortly. '26 is given the call. Colin Gibson in second place. Number 7 at the front of the race now is Richter, pulls up towards the blue line. I saw a question on the live stream that's worth just mentioning. In general, you can check official posted results at velodrome.org/live. I haven't gotten over there to check some of the previous races, as I'll continue to comment on the action going on currently. But if you want to see anything from previous events posted, I believe the first race for this Cat 1-2 field wrapped up as you saw it across the line. There was no adjustments to the positions after the race. Velodrome.org/live. One of the first buttons there you'll see is a link to the results folder where you can find start lists and results as they're posted throughout the night. So this is an interesting one. We saw number 24 and number 51 going head to head in what was a frustrating end for 24. But this is another sprint for first place coming up, and both of those riders are at the front of this field of 5. Richter did not factor in last time, but he's in a good wheel spot now, and he may be able to compete in a different way on this upcoming sprint. And with the bells ringing, riders along the rail, a little bit of hesitation. Kovalchuk's waiting. And as Zach looks over the left shoulder, he's waiting for the move to come. He's trying to shorten the distance to the finish. 24 and 7 both dive pretty hard there. Now we got the 3-rider lineup dropping the other 2. Here comes the sprint. It's Mario on the front. There's Richter. He sat out that first effort. He's fresh for this one. The Rocket sending his own attack. And here comes Kovalchuk and Richter. It'll be the Rocket this time as 51 was closing. Not enough time to get there. Sandoval for third across the line in the Belgian-win-n-out.
Hey, Corey, off topic here, but you know, I'm still renting, and I'm in the mood to buy. You got any leads on maybe a lender?
You know what? I think I do have the perfect one for you. If there's one that's coming to my tip of my tongue right now. It's Homeseed.
Oh, no way.
Have you
Tell
heard
me
of
more.
this? Yeah. Make Bender your trusted home lender. You should check it out. Sarah Bender is here with the Homeseed crew. It's as easy. You can just walk over there right now and say hi. Our thanks to Homeseed for being here. You're gonna go check it out, aren't you? You're gonna go give them a conversation.
Yeah, between the loan and the beer, I don't know what's more appetizing, but I'll head over there shortly.
Very
Thanks,
good.
Corey.
Very good. All right, I think our next field can come out now, as I do believe track is clear. So let's bring out the Cat 4s on up to the rail, please. Cat 4s up to the rail. Appreciate all the love we're seeing out there on the stream, and of course all of our fans that made it out here tonight. I know it's hot. We're still looking at above 90 degrees out here as the sun getting a little bit lower in the sky. Things are slowly cooling off around here. It's been a hot one. But many of us still braved it out here today, especially our athletes making it out here today. Thanks for still having us, enough of you out here tonight to have some fields. It's great to have a Friday night happen. And now we have our final set of races tonight. The elimination races are coming up. We've got 3 of them back-to-back, and this is a ride from the back of the field. We're going to watch the last rider crossing the line every single lap, and they will be eliminated. Whatever that last wheel is to cross, they'll be eliminated from the race, and we're going all the way down to the last rider. So based on a field of 6, there should be basically 5 laps to determine who our winner is. When there's 3 in the group, they can get the 1-to-go mark. My job here will be mostly to make sure I clearly announce the eliminated rider. Whistle's blown, racing is underway. Last rider across the line. Next lap will be our first eliminated rider. All right, so it looks like Apex Racing does plan to try to stay up on the top of the pedestal tonight, but right now our eyes turn to the back of the field. Who's eliminated this time? 458, Scott Fowler. Scott Fowler, 458. Group of 5 remain as Aaron works his way back into the field. Unnecessary to be pulling that hard ahead of the group. Watching the junior in the back, the rider in the black and blue trying to make it up. Not this time. 408 is called. 408. Parker Stanford. Found Cycling Guild. I'm assuming the I guess I don't know who's behind the account on that'd be tuning in on YouTube, but saying hi to Zach and Colin. Nice to see you again. Yeah, a couple faces we haven't seen at the track for a while. Yeah, number 26 giving the wave. It's good to see some names that we've had out here at the Velodrome for a while and haven't had for some time. Good to see riders making their way here ahead of the GP. 406 is Mike Jors, rider in green. Should be getting the bell and a 1-to-go as they come around this time, although we may have a bit of an early volunteer here maybe. It is Jennifer behind the account. Okay. Hey, Jennifer, good to hear from you. Nice to have you tuning in and checking out what we're doing here on the stream. Bell's ringing for these 2 as they're going to be racing for the top 2 spots. Jacob Luna is in the second wheel spot, and of course our rider from Apex, Aaron's at the front, number 454, the winner of the first 2 races for this field, looking to clean things up. And 405 gets the call as the eliminated rider this time. He'll end up in 3rd. And the sprint for first. Is this still Aaron holding on? Luna's got that wheel, trying to challenge. It'll be Apex, 454. Has a nice clean sweep tonight on a Friday night. A light showing, but still a good evening for him. And these Cat 4 men are all wrapped up. Elimination for the Cat 3 men and the women competitors. Please come to the rail. 2 races left. Can you believe it? We're going to be done in, it's not going to be 8:30. Wild. I did misspeak. There is a Madison still upcoming. I keep looking at the printed schedule. It's messing with my head.
Who owns a printer anymore, honestly?
I mean, we have one in this building. Want to come check it out?
I was just informed that photographers do indeed own printers. So there's that.
But who has nice cameras anymore?
Well, hold on. Still photographers, I've been informed.
nwsportsphotography.com.
There it is.
That was a great answer. Yeah, and to confirm again, there's still a little bit of chatter on the stream. Oh, hey, look at that. We're getting... we gotta love our action camera. Thanks to our crew. Of course, we've got Nolan on the microphone and Chase is down there operating all the cameras to kind of keep things interesting for the viewers out there that are tuning in on the stream. So thanks to them for helping us out with that. Some chatter on the chat about the, again, the results from the first scratch race. Yes, as I stated, I think there wasn't any changes after the race occurred, but the results are posted. If people are curious, as they get posted, they'll go up there. Here comes our elimination for the Cat 3 men and women field here. The first elimination is next lap. Pretty stretched out field here. Again, it's a bit of a mixed group. So you never know how that's going to feel as you bring in some riders, some guest riders, and also some recent upgrades and whatnot. Looks like we might have one slightly early volunteer. She'll make the wave. Heather Nielsen says hello and goodbye. Very good. Number 5 gets the call. That's Tyson Danielson, our winner of the Belgian-win-n-out in the blue with the white helmet, leading things out. And the pace from this group, it's varied. Smaller fields, a little harder to bunch up and sort of have this like shared speed that you see in a larger group. But we're starting to kind of work our way back there. Wearing the blue of Gene Johnson, looks like one of our riders found here is number 6, Kelly, please. It wasn't that long ago that, and we're really proud of this, it was just a few weeks ago, I'm going to forget exactly which night this was, where it was almost a big enough open women's field. It was like 20 riders. It was our largest showing we've had in a long time, 25 in the open women's field. And I know tonight's an oddity for a lot of reasons, you know, the weather and other conflicts and whatnot in the schedule, but unusual for us not to be able to host an open women's field of its own. 311, James Campbell Harris. 311. And Mr. G will accelerate himself around the field and does not want to be anywhere near the back, so let's see who will be. Kit's in a tough spot, making a run at it. 318 is Kit Colbert. 318, Kit Colbert. Almost had the acceleration needed. As Mr. G sort of leads off the rest of the field, sort of stretching this thing out. Consistency and tempo, certainly not the way these riders wanting to ride it this evening. .306 is Ben Flom. Flom caught that time, 4th overall. Paul Rackness, the rider at furthest back position, but he's starting to accelerate himself back into the race as it's the 2 stronger riders this evening that have really made a good showing tonight for this group that have been at the front, although now it looks maybe Mr. G's lost the power here. It might be falling back. We'll see. This effort would be for 3rd overall. Looks like Rackness will shake the head. 340 gets out on 3rd place, our recent upgrader into the field, shaking it up nicely tonight. And the 2 remaining, been calling these riders out quite a bit this evening. Gene Johnson's cycling brings Tyson Danielson, and he's in good form this evening. Mr. G, though, Challenging here, coming around the corner. We got a good sprint for the finish. And it looks like Scott Grinsel playing this one nicely. And Tyson Tadelson smiling across the line with another good race for him. 321 will be in second overall. Let's bring the Cat 1-2s up for their final race. Then we'll give a little bit of time to transition and prepare for the Madison, our last event of the evening. I imagine we may need a little bit of rest in here as we make that transition, but we'll figure it out. Cat 1-2 men to the rail for your final race. It's the Elimination. All right, in our final race for this field, our final elimination as well. Same rules apply, but obviously the race will be longer just by the fact we have more riders starting in the group. Not going to be able to start this lap as just by looking at it, we're too spread out. The official's already giving the signal to keep it rolling. We're still in the neutral. We're spread out right now. We're still in the neutral. The front's getting the signal to back down the tempo just a bit. This elimination, of course, the last chance tonight for riders to compete in the Cat 1-2's overall standings. And this one, the Rider of the Year points on the line. So number 24 and number 4 both will be looking at this one. Number 7, who's made a great showing this season as well, will be looking at it. Really, the whole Found Cycling Guild's been pretty consistently competitive this season. They're all going to be trying to figure out a way to get this one going. Neutral still engaged. We've got 2 riders looking to find the field. Neutral still going. And there's the whistle. Racing now begins. Bell rings, says next time is our first elimination. Every lap after that, we're going to keep pulling riders. Looking at our rider in the white. Sitting up already, knows what's coming. Says, nope, didn't work out this time. Number 5, Christian Miller. The field here is doing the first time we've really seen tonight sort of the typical formation and elimination race. If you watch these races frequently, you'll see this sort of wedge shape as riders at the front sort of set a tempo and everybody else fans out behind them. And as we get to the finish line, they fan out across the field and take up more space on the track if they're wanting to sprint for it. Not this time, it looks like. Number 44 acknowledges it's his turn now. As Billy will make the exit. Bobby, excuse me. Billy's over there. That looks to be Colin Gibson setting the lead of the lap now. We saw Zach there for a moment, but it'll be number 26 that wants to be the leading edge. Now we're seeing a little bit more of that typical spread out and sprint. A couple riders in Found Cycling make a good move here. It'll leave 34 out of the race as Haldeman's down in the lower part of the track is caught out in the single malt Velo squad colors. Looks like maybe one rider off a bit early here too, as Vern Cole's going to be off the back and it will eventually be eliminated here. He's just going to be off the back of the field. You have a volunteer. There's a volunteer. Yep, the field's all safe. The field's safe. Everybody's in the field. We got one rider off the back. Everybody's still in the field. Number 20, Vern Cole, eliminated this time. Super Mario makes a big move in the middle of turn 3 to come up to the front. Now he's taking the lead spot away. Kovalchuk on his wheel with Richter alongside. Gibson's found himself all the way at the back, and now he's having to do the dirty work of sprinting around the outside. Oh, the sprinter's lane's getting busy. 7, Richter. Number 7, Dave Richter. 7. All right, that was tight down there in the lower part of the track. Everybody's looking for space and almost one line across the field here. Now this time it looks like it's red. 23 raising a hand, knows it's going to be him as the field maneuvers up and around him. You'll see that a lot in this sort of formation. If riders don't move up and they're down the sprinter's lane in that second lineup, they get caught because there's just nowhere to go. And the riders that all choose to kind of fan out and sprint and use that energy to secure the position will move on to the next lap. Oh, looks like one of our Found Cycling riders might be getting in a bad spot here. He goes into the sprinter's lane. He's looking down at the pane. He says, I'm not sure I'm going to go make a run of this. Chris Wilson looking like he's going to sit back off of this one. And number 27 is called out for the elimination this lap. 5 remain. It's Mario Sandoval at the front. Super Mario leading the way. Colin Gibson for Keller Rohrbach in second wheel spot. Elliot Crowther in the black, number 14. Behind him in the red with the white helmet is Zach Kovalchuk, our Portland speedster, and then Andy Baker, Rider of the Year jersey, number 4. Makes out our field of 5, fanning out across. Whoa. Looking in the middle here. 26, Gibson, Colin Gibson. It was between him and 14, but it came down to the line as Gibson just not quite enough acceleration at the final moment there to hold it. 4 remain. Super Mario sitting up a little bit here, allowing the other 3 to swarm over the top. Kovalchuk needed to do a little more work to take the sprinter's lane. He'll take the lead spot now as we're stretching this thing out lengthwise instead of across the track. 24, Mario Sandoval. And the bell's ringing, 1 to go. Let's see who's pulled this time. Kovalchuk's trying to hold on to it. Whoa. 14. Number 14. Crowther in the middle. Kovalchuk and Baker, the last 2 standing. I'm sorry if I miscalled the number. He's coming off as number 14. The sprint for Kovalchuk here at the end. Baker will let this one go as our Portland rider cleans up nicely here in the race for the elimination, and Andy Baker will come across the line in second. And third place overall. Crowther's still out here on the track. Nicely done for all of our riders in the Cat 1 2-man field. We're going to take a moment to set up for this Madison. I can't imagine we can start this right away since we got a bit of rest and changing jerseys and whatnot. So we're going to take just a moment off the microphone, a moment to catch our breath. We still got Jessica's Unique Bites here. If you're here at the Velodrome enjoying this action live and in person, we appreciate you making the trek out this way. The beverage garden's still open. We're pouring Postdoc Brewing and Locust Ciders. All purchases in the beverage garden must stay in the beverage garden, and even better news, all purchases in the beverage garden donated go right back into supporting our programs here because of our beverage sponsors providing those. So we really appreciate those sponsors and, of course, your support of the Velodrome by going into the beverage garden and supporting us here tonight. So we'll take a few minutes away from the microphone as we set ourselves for Madison. We'll be back with more racing action in just a few minutes. If you're here at the Velodrome enjoying the action, again, this is a great chance to maybe pick out a new spot or go pick up a quick order of the best fries out of a food truck in the Pacific Northwest. A great burger over here from Jessica's Unique Bites, or come in the beverage garden, enjoy a beverage this evening. We are getting set for the open Madisons. If you're out there on the stream, this is the perfect opportunity to head on down to that subscribe and that thumbs up button if you haven't done so yet. We see we've got some good viewership out there enjoying what we're doing this evening. Another reminder that we're just 2 weeks out from the big race. A couple of riders that are out of town will be coming back home from Pennsylvania, and many riders from across the country will be flying in to join us for the Vision Grand Prix. Big cash purse, lots of merchandise, the best and fastest racing of our season, coming August 12th and 13th. That's a Friday and a Saturday night of 7 p.m. start for you to check out.
We've got a request for all the racers to come to the podium. All racers to the podium, please. Some big decisions are going to be made here. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to have your vote go unheard.
That's not just for the Madison, it's all riders?
All riders.
Got
Every
it.
single one, even Chris Wilson.
Roger that.
I'll go get Chris. I'll go get Chris. I'll carry him. Oh, I can't carry you. The ribs. The doctor says no. You got to walk over here. Bring the hat. Podium hat. All racers to the podium. Aaron, get over here.
I had already made it to the beer garden.
Oh, unless you've had beers. If you've had beers,
But I made it over there.
well, does the beer osmote? Like, how are you feeling?
Well, it was poured for me, and then I walked away.
Oh, so this was a
I'm
tough decision.
thirsty.
I'll hold it for you.
All right. Well, you know, to be honest, I was just requested to gather the riders. I do not know what the discussion was going to be about. Oh, Andy's here. Here we go.
I got it.
Sounds like we might be trying to put together one more sort of it's an official event within the race, but it wouldn't be the normal sort of prize money or earning category upgrades and all that kind of stuff. But we'll figure out what we're doing here. We're looking at maybe not doing this Madison, have a little bit more racing. So in the meantime, as we organize that, again, a big thanks to everybody for joining us and being a part of this event this evening. We'll be wrapping up with one more race here shortly, as we may scrap the Madison for maybe a larger field in a scratch race or something of the sort. And I was kind of in the middle of talking a little bit more about the Grand Prix, which I want to make sure everybody knows more about and has the information they need. 2 race nights that are great for spectators, 7 p.m. both August 12th and August 13th. That's Friday and Saturday nights. And then there's also noon racing both days, although maybe not as focused as a spectator event. We're going to bring out the food trucks and beverage garden and all the good stuff for the evening. And then, of course, the earlier racing is more about oftentimes the qualifying events or the heats for the finals that will race in the evening. So if you want to see the full story and be in it from the very beginning, you can come check out racing at noon on August 12th and 13th. And of course, in addition to that, don't be afraid to check out the stream, which will be showing all the racing on for the whole weekend. All right, so it looks like our choice for tonight is, it sounds like the Cat 1-2s only. Is that what I believe I heard are going to go out for a 20-lap scratch? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's going to be a combined field of all the riders in the Cat 1-2 and the Cat 3 women's fields coming together, men and women's fields coming together for one more scratch race, a 20 lapper just for fun. It's an early night. I mean, look at the time. We still got lots of time to be here. So figured let's get some laps in this evening. And we're going to call those riders to the line here shortly, up to the rail shortly, for one more bonus scratch race tonight. 5 minutes rest guaranteed here. So the athletes have come together. Their voice has been heard. Democracy is happening in front of our very eyes. So it sounds like the Cat 123s are going to combine for a 20-lap scratch race. We're in a little bit of rest time right now, and we'll get that thing started here. I heard 5 minutes just a couple minutes ago, so maybe about 3 minutes of rest time remain before we'll call up the field for a 20-lap scratch race to close out tonight. And I just gotten the okay from, I'm going to thank Eric for this one because he's the mastermind behind this, but we're going to put two $50 preems in the race too. You get that? Two $50 preems in the race. No one's going to race for the finish anymore. We're just going to toss that out to make it a little bit more fun here as we hold out for just a couple more minutes of rest. Once the time has passed, our officials crew will bring them up. Again, thank you so much for being here and enjoying this. What's now turning into a pretty comfortable evening now that we finally have gotten past the brunt of the heat tonight. If you're looking to cool off your tongue just a little bit more, join the Beverage Garden and the Homeseed gang hanging out tonight. Again, our thanks to Sarah Bender and their support. We hang out here for a few more minutes. And thanks to all of our great sponsors as well in our community. Better Builders, Design, Build, and Remodel. Check out betterbuilders.com. Waterman Rhinoplasty, Nasal and Sinus Center of Seattle. Of course, our good friends at Move Redmond, Locust Ciders, and Postdoc Brewing, our beverage sponsors for the year. DBC Photography out here most weeks. Dennis does a great job. Hey, that whistle's for riders. Come on up. If you're in the scratch, let's get you to the rail, please. We will. Here's how we're going to do the $50. I'm going to make an adjustment. This is a good one. Let's do a $50 preem and $50 for the win. It's going to come out of our preem purse rather than the normal prize purse, so to speak. 40 then 60. We could do the gambler style and do it the other way. 60-40. I like the imbalance, though. Well, yeah, we could just, you don't get to know until you win it. Make it random. Now, we'll go 50-50. We'll just split it. We'll have a preem. I'm going to ring a bell for one of them, and then we'll go $50 for the win as well, as that's what the boss says we should do. Our 20-lap scratch race. Cat 123s are all eligible to race and invited to the rail now. One $50 preem during the race and $50 for the win tonight in the scratch. I'll ring the bell once on an unknown lap for the $50 cash preem. Riders in this field are going out for a fun extra scratch race tonight in an unusual way for us on a Friday night, but it just was too early of an evening to cut it. Still have a beautiful night here. In fact, it might be our best conditions yet. So let's get one more race in. Enjoy the company and the opportunity to ride with other riders one more time this evening in the neutral, and then we'll get this 20-lap race started out of turn 4 as long as they're all together. Looking forward to this one more attempt, one more chance this evening to enjoy some good racing. And the whistle signaling the start of the race. 20 to go. On the early goings, we've got Tyson Danielson of the Gene Johnson cycling team making the first big effort of the race. Thinks about kind of finding his way into that opening. Carl Hofer closes it down pretty quickly, though, and the majority of the field all back together again as they hit corner 3. $18 to go. Kowalczyk 51 swings high and gives room for many other riders to do the same. Sandoval now leads the field. Colin Gibson, Tyson Danielson on his wheel now as Colin comes to the front. With 17 to go, the field pretty well stretched out here. Decent tempo from the group as there's been a bit of effort at the front to keep it quick. The more single file the riders are, the more likely that they're putting out quite a bit of effort as they look to hide behind somebody, get in the draft, maximize their effort with other riders. And you can see that formation now under the power of Richter, who picks up the pace quickly on the back straight. And Andy Baker looks to maintain. At 15 to go, it's Richter again coming to the front. Number 7 pulling quite a bit of effort here in the early goings. Willing to pull this field at a pretty good tempo, and now as Colin Gibson takes the next pull quickly as Danielson will avoid being on the front for too long. A couple of riders usually in the Cat 3 field making their way in for this, so another mixed crowd. Riders trying to get a sense of who's here and who's got speed to compete today in the scratch. It's all about the final lap here, except of course there's a nice big preem somewhere in the middle of this race at 14 to go. So it looks like about half the field trying not to take too many pulls, trying to be fairly inactive. The other half willing to keep this tempo where it's at. Here's number 7 again, who has been very willing to do this effort in the early goings. Tyson Danielson back up here again has been trying to stay in the front half of this group the whole race. Here he is now in the lead effort at 12 to go. Elliot Crowther, number 14, now at the front. And there he is again. Number 7 is just relentless here, trying to apply that motor and just make sure everybody knows that we're going fast in this scratch race. No sitting up. Audi Racing with Carl Hofer. Also, I'm familiar with watching this rider try to keep it quick, and he'll do so here. His number 23 takes his 200-meter effort and will pull up for Zach Kovalchuk to take the lead just for a moment. And all that positioning and change of the lead is really just amounted to generally nothing in terms of field position as the back group kind of comes back up to the front, and here we are in a pretty long lineup of the remaining riders all together. 10 to go. Chris Wilson for Found Cycling pulls up out of the way. So does Danielson, and there's Kovalchuk for just a moment. Colin Gibson comes up to the front, the rider in white. Some quick rotations there as riders are trying to be selfish of their own efforts and not spend energy where they don't want to just yet. They feel like this may come down to a bunch sprint, so you got to be kind of cautious about burning too much energy now. Not being overly cautious as this rider. It's still the Rocket. Just kind of every time he's up there, he just looks like he wants to keep it going at this good pace. Willing to take the full pull all the way across the line and into the corner. Now it's Mr. G up to the front. He's been sitting kind of mid-back of the field, finds his way to the front for a pull down the back straight. Carl Hofer gets to the front and he accelerates at a pretty good time. It's $50 to lead the lap at 8 to go. $50 to lead the lap at 8 to go. $50 to lead the lap at 8 to go. Hofer may have actually been not enjoying that, as he's not really looking to bunch sprint anybody. This is going to encourage the sprinters to make a move, though. Wilson wants to fight over the money. He's near the front. Kovalchuk wants to pay for his travel expenses to get up here from Portland. Oh, trying to make some room. Zach forces it out and around the corner. Kovalchuk, Richter. It will be Kovalchuk for the 50. It's number 51. Number 7 and 51 were battling it out, trying to find room around Chris Wilson. It looked like it was going to be a moment where maybe Kovalchuk gets boxed in, but through sheer power and speed, he finds enough of a lane to kind of establish his position and settles in on the $50 preem in midway in this race. And at 6 to go, Colin Gibson says, I didn't go for the money, I'm going to go for the win now. Keller Rohrbach sees an opportunity when other riders are trying to recollect themselves to apply even more pain. Richter looks fresh enough to try to hold on, so this isn't getting away anytime soon, as Gibson is going to start feeling the pressure on his rear wheel here real soon. What's next is the $50 finish. We got a big sprint coming up here at the end. Our field is sized down considerably from the start. We're down to just 7 that have made it to this point in the race. Tyson Danielson, usually riding with the Cat 3s. He is a Cat 3. He's out here showing why he's ready for his upgrade. He's been doing well in the field. The rider in blue stays right in with the racing action and holds on to this great tempo from this group. Number 14 trying to make a move off the front here. As Elliott sees an opportunity for himself to maybe separate from this field, not knowing exactly what his strengths are. Elliott looking like this is maybe a sort of opportunity he's built to go for, and he's looking pretty strong off the field as he's opening up a nice gap. The tough way to win, it's a solo break. He's flying away now at 3 to go. Crowther, excuse me, on the lone attack here. Sandoval, number 24, not doing too much yet. There's really only one prize in this race left. It's first place. You get money. Everything else doesn't really count for much. So the win is the bigger prize at this point than anything else. You're not trying to gamble for positions behind that. You're just trying to win the sprint for the fun of winning it and the extra cash prize that comes along with it. So this field wants to keep Elliott close, but he's got himself in a great position at 2 to go. Can he find it? Number 14, still looking pretty smooth. You can watch the cadence and the movement of his feet there to kind of get a sense of what he's got left, and he's still looking like he's got some power. Top speed from this field will close that distance down remarkably quick. You'll be surprised. So he still has to keep on his effort if he's got a chance to win it tonight. He'll come around the corner at the lead, and if you want to see Elliott at the top of this fun extra scratch, you're going to make some noise and help him out in this final lap. Here he comes, number 14 around the corner. Can he hold on? The charge will start coming with the bell ringing. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. Crowther on the lead of the lap. Here comes a sprint with the 2 riders in the green team. Number 7 looks to be Richter setting things up, and that's going to close that gap down real fast. Watch this thing just evaporate as Richter gets things lined up across the finish line. And Super Mario wants to go close this thing down for the 50 if he can, so he's trying to hold on the wheel of his teammate and come around at the end. It's Found Cycling fighting over the cash and the big win and the fun extra scratch this evening. Super Mario, guess that means he's not going for it. So number 7, Dave Richter will take the extra cash in the fun bonus scratch tonight. An incredibly fast ride, and a lot of the speed was coming under his wheel. So a deserved win for the strong athlete Richter, and a good evening wrapping up here. That will be the conclusion of racing action here on our short but fun Friday night. How about one big round of applause from the audience for all the athletes for coming out tonight and putting on a show. Thank you for your efforts this evening to all of you. I know some are already starting to exit. Some of you are still in the beverage garden hanging out. That's you'll find many of us after racing is closed down, as we like to hang out for a little bit and enjoy the evening with you all. Jessica's Unique Bites is still here. You can get grub on the way out. Get that midnight snack ordered now. And they'll be open for a little bit longer. You can get French fries. You can get some great spicy burgers made fresh out of the truck and ready for you to go. And then, of course, the beverage garden is still open for several more minutes. If you're out there on the stream enjoying the show, and if you haven't left that thumbs up on the video, we'd appreciate if you just scroll down, leave that thumbs up before you tune out today. Give us a little extra love. And, of course, hit that subscribe button. Help us on our journey to hit 1,000 subscribers before the GP in just a couple of weeks. We appreciate your support. And with that, folks, we got another week away from the stream. We'll be back next Friday with more racing action. It's Friday Night Racing next Friday, as long as the weather permits. And we all look forward to the GP August 12th and 13th. Can't wait to host that fun racing action. Thanks again to Homeseed and Sarah Bender, and so glad to have them out tonight. Our great sponsors stepping up big to support us. And of course, thanks to all of you that came to watch racing and are tuned in live on the streams. Until we get to see you again, we look forward to hosting you again for more great racing action here at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.